Today is our final chapter, chapter 22. And this one is what the book's all about. This one is just called My Father. It was all over now. My father and I stood alone just outside the workshop, and suddenly the old place seemed to become very quiet. "Well, Danny," my father said, looking at me with those twinkly eyes of his, "that's that." "It was fun, Dad." "I know it was," he said. "I really loved it," I said. "So did I, Danny." He placed one hand on my shoulder, and we began walking slowly towards the caravan. "Maybe we should lock the pumps and take a holiday for the rest of the day," he said. "You mean not open up at all?" "Why should we?" he said. "After all, it's Saturday, isn't it?" "But we always stay open on Saturdays, Dad, and Sundays." "Well, maybe it's time we didn't," he said. "We could do something else instead, something more interesting." I waited, wondering what was coming next. When we reached the caravan, my father climbed the steps and sat down on the little outside platform. He allowed both his legs, the plaster one and the good one, to dangle over the edge. I climbed down and sat beside him with my feet on the steps of the ladder. It was a fine place to sit, the platform of the caravan. It was such a quiet, comfortable place to sit and talk and do nothing in pleasant weather. People with houses have a front porch or a terrace instead, with big chairs to lounge in. But I wouldn't have traded either of those for our wooden platform. "Now, Danny, I know a place about 3 miles away," my father was saying, "over a cobbler's hill and down the other side, where there's a small wood of larch trees. It's a very quiet place, and the stream runs right through it." "The stream?" I said. He nodded and gave me another of his twinkly looks. "It's full of trout," he said. "Oh, could we?" I cried. "Could we go there, Dad?" "Why not?" he said. "We could try tickling the way Doc Spencer told us." "Will you teach me?" I said. "Well, I haven't had much practice with trout," he told me. "Pheasants are more my line, but we could always learn." "Can we go now?" I asked, getting excited all over again. "Well, I thought we would just pop into the village first and buy the electric oven," he said. "You haven't forgotten about the electric oven, have you?" "But, Dad," I said, "that was when we thought we were going to have lots and lots of pheasants to roast." "Oh, we've still got the 2 the Doc gave us," he said. "And with any luck, we'll have lots more of them as the weeks go by. It's time we had an oven anyway. Then we can roast things properly instead of heating up baked beans in a saucepan. We could have roasted pork one day, and then if we felt like it, we could have roasted leg of lamb the next time, or even roasted beef. Wouldn't you like that?" "Oh, yes," I said. "Of course I would. And Dad, you would be able to make your favourite thing of all." "What's that?" he asked. "Toad in the hole," I said. "By golly," he cried, "that'll be the very first thing we'll make in our new oven. Toad in the hole. I'll make it in an enormous pan, the same as my old mum, with the Yorkshire pudding very crisp and raised up in huge bubbly mountains, and the sausages nestling in between the mountains." "Can we get it today, Dad? Will they deliver it at once?" "They might, Danny. We'll have to see. Couldn't we order it now on the telephone?" "We mustn't do that," my father said. "We must go personally to see Mr. Wheeler, and we must inspect all the different models with great care." You can tell he's a mechanic and engineer, children. "All right," I said. "Let's go." I was really steamed up now about getting an oven and being able to have toad in the hole and roasted pork and stuff like that. I couldn't wait. My father got to his feet. "And when we've done that," he said, "we'll go off to the stream and see if we can't find us some big rainbow trout. We could take sandwiches with us for lunch and eat them beside the stream. That will make a good day of it." A few minutes later, the 2 of us were walking down the well-known road towards the village to buy the oven. My father's iron foot went clink, clink on the hard surface, and overhead some big black thunder clouds were moving slowly down the valley. "Dad," I said. "Yes, my love." "When we have roasted pheasant supper with our new oven, do you think we could invite Doc Spencer and Mrs. Spencer to eat with us?" "Great heavens!" my father cried. "What a wonderful thought! What a beautiful idea! We'll give a dinner party in their honour." "The only thing is," I said, "will there be enough room in the caravan for 4 people?" I think so, he said, just. But we've only got 2 chairs, Dad. That's no problem, Danny. You and I can sit on boxes. There was a short silence, and then he said, but I'll tell you what we must have. We must have a tablecloth. We can't serve dinner to the doctor and his wife without a tablecloth. But we don't have a tablecloth, Dad. Don't you worry about it, my father said. We can use a sheet from one of the bunks. That's all a tablecloth is, a sort of sheet. What about knives and forks? I asked. How many do we have? Well, just 2. We've only got 2 knives, Dad, and 2 forks, and all of those are a bit dented. Well, we shall buy 2 more of each, my father said. We shall give our guests the new ones and use the old ones ourselves. Good, I said. Lovely. I reached out and slid my hand into his. He folded his long fingers round my fist and held it tight, and the 2 of us walked on towards the village, where soon the 2 of us would be inspecting all the different ovens with great care and talking to Mr. Wheeler personally about them. And after that, we would walk home again and make some sandwiches up after that. And after that, we would set off with the sandwiches in our pockets, striding up over Cobbler's Hill and down the other side to the small wood of larch trees with the stream running through it. And after that, well, perhaps a rainbow trout. And after that, there would be something else after that. And after that, and yes, something else again, because what I am trying to tell you, children, listen. What I have been trying so hard to tell you, above all, is that my father, without the slightest doubt, was the most marvellous and exciting father any boy ever had. And children, Roald Dahl now has a special message for you. A message. To children who have read this book, now remember this, children, I read this book when I was your age. Both of my children have listened to this book. Read this. When you grow up and have children of your own, do please remember something important. This is very important. A stodgy parent is no fun at all. You don't want to be a boring mum or dad. What a child wants and deserves is a parent who is sparky. So everybody that's listened in, I've enjoyed it so much reading you these stories, as have both of my children. But at the end of this story, I want you to promise me that when you grow up, if you have children, don't be a boring mum or dad. Be an exciting one. Be a crazy one. Make sure your kids have fun. Okay, that's the end of the story. Make sure you tune in for the extra bits later on. Bye-bye.